the last mile as far as the patient is concerned. What has been your experience, for a big corporate chain like you with hospitals in multiple cities? We are all keen to hear your experience of how you have been handling the challenges, and also many requests from the government that has been coming, including one that came from the Delhi Chief Minister and the Delhi government today about the price capping. So would you like to give us some big impact picture of how you are handling things, Dr. Raghuvanshi, please?
Yeah. So in the early stages, obviously, like what Meena said and what Rohit said, I think we had serious logistic challenges. We had our staff related challenges, how to move them. And then there was a question of rotating the staff because once they are exposed to patients, you need to give them a break as well. So there were several challenges. I think most of them gradually sort of fell into a pattern, and many measures were taken. But I think it was also very important for us to bring that confidence in the healthcare workers, especially the frontline nurses, technicians, etc. So I think first focus we did was to institute some measures which brings that sense of security amongst that the frontline people. So there were a lot of things like insurance, medical insurance, for example. A lot of people covered only under ESI. So we covered the entire organization right in the beginning of this episode. And similarly, we enhanced the life coverage, etc. We said that all the co-payments the company will bear all the co-payments for medical insurance if anyone requires treatment, etc. So these were confidence building measures so that people could work with a sense of now, as far as you said that it's the last mile. It's in my view, healthcare is an ecosystem. Unfortunately, in the past, it was only looked as an episodic thing where you're treating episode of illness, and that is what it was. And I always used to say that many times we call it healthcare industry, but we only talk about sickness and disease and never about health. So I think the other components of healthcare were coming in focus even before this pandemic came into being. Like, for example, remote monitoring, taking care of people at home, and all these things were there. Telemedicine is something which was being talked extensively for last 20 years, but it didn't take that center stage. I think as we go further, we have to sort of look at this entire ecosystem of care. And I think these components, especially remote care, etc., are going to become very, very important, because it is not just preventing the infection, but these are simply more efficient ways of delivering and a complete care. So I think the role of these things will become more and more important as we go further. The business model of traditional hospital will also have to evaluate how to participate in that ecosystem. One of the other things we were talking about earlier, Anjana, about collaboration. One of the examples is that, all 3-4 hospitals in Gurgaon, they came together. These are traditionally, competitors. They all got together and contributed with staff and other things to open kind of a common facility. I think that is an example of how the industry has come together.
Yes.
Yes.
So, since you mentioned about confidence, comfort, let me ask you, because that's going to be a question for, I think, all the eminent panelists, that there is a question of balancing out, patient care with the growth and progress. Hospitals have been far from being full. Medical tourism has stopped. The elective surgeries have been postponed. OPDs have not exactly been full. So how to ensure patient comfort and safety feeling, especially in the big cities like Delhi, Mumbai, where the numbers are scary to an ordinary citizen? So I know it's a difficult question perhaps, but we have to do something together, possibly awareness generation, communication program. Any thought on that, Dr. Raghuvanshi?
Yeah, so as the community spread happens, whether we define it as such or not, but the fact is that people are likely to get infection. So any patient who's coming to the hospital is potentially infected, and both the healthcare workers as well as the patient needs to be protected.
Sure.
And I think that has to be very visible to patients when they come to a hospital for any episode of illness. I think that is one very, very important confidence building measure. So the segregation, the patient flow right from the entrance of the hospital is what makes a difference. And I think that makes a difference also. Now we have a lot of experience. We have treated well over more than 1,000 patients, approximately about 1,400 patients within our network. And about 40% of that were treated in critical care. So there is a lot of expertise which has started developing. People are learning from some of the mistakes which were made early on, and that has been very helpful. The other part, with what you said, that the occupancy levels currently are very low, because traditionally what happens in that there is a good component of medical travelers who are coming from international markets. But at the same time, within the country, there is a lot of movement. As you know, that from east, a lot of patients move to south.
Yes.
People from Calcutta move to Mumbai for cancer treatment even now. So all those movements have also stopped. So both those things have contributed in a big way to bring the occupancy level down. So currently, hospitals are able to support the corona work as the overall occupancy levels are low. But my apprehension is that as we go further down into the pandemic, and if the numbers rise, then we would have challenges on human resources side. There are people who are healthcare workers who are going to get infected in spite of all the precautions, and that would again take over a certain challenge out of the system. So I think those are very serious challenges. I think many of these debates about availability of human resources, the technology platforms like telemedicine has been around for so long, but we didn't have those regulation or whatever guidelines for so long, in spite of the understanding that it's an important component. So what I feel is that many of these problems which we are facing today as a system and as a country, I think all these points have been recognized in plenty in past. As Dr. Lal said initially, all these things have been recognized earlier, but we haven't made sufficient effort and we haven't invested enough in these things. So now this has brought all this in focus. And now it's important that we address these things systemically. The pandemic will sooner or later go away. Now, private healthcare has somehow become the favorite whipping bag of everybody, the authorities, the media, and everyone. And but the fact remains that private healthcare in a country such as India, where so many people are almost towards a poverty line, private healthcare cannot substitute the public system. It can only complement. And I think expectations from private healthcare are very, very unreasonable. One of the things you asked about the authorities, I think the consistency in policy and instruction has not been there. The instruction keeps changing. One day they say that 117 hospitals in Delhi are covered under this. The next day that becomes something else. Then 3 hospitals are taken. Then 20% beds have to be taken. So people cannot prepare if you do not have a visibility on what you're supposed to do, and the instruction keeps changing. Then there is a problem. And similar problem is being seen in the testing side, for example. Suddenly there will be instructions that you can't test this, or there cannot be any pre-operative testing, etc. And that's considered as violation of the ICMR guidelines, which is not the case actually. But these things confusion in public's mind, and I think a consistency on the authorities side is very, very important. I think and that's probably if we have to go through this without much.